Surprise! Today will feature not one, but two shorter Meta Monday episodes in which, as mentioned in the Melga X video, I will not be going over the card by card, the strengths and weaknesses, or the combos. Instead, up on your screen I will show 90% of a typical deck profile and discuss the tech cards you can utilize along with your matchups. As always, if you enjoy these types of videos, do consider liking this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell for more future content. The second deck profile I want to cover is going to be Wargreymon X. Wargreymon X, the heroic side of things, still does a lot of work in the upcoming format. Not only that, but you can utilize a lot of your security check +1 effects in order to check multiple security and then simply blitz Omnimon for game. The big difference here is Melga X can do multiple unsuspends, which Black Wargreymon X can counter. But with Wargreymon X, you commit multiple security checks into one attack. Sure, Black Wargreymon X could block or redirect, but the issue for Black Wargreymon X players become, do you want to lose your stack? Make your choice. Up on screen, you should already see the unveiled list of what I've been playtesting with Wargreymon X. The deck itself plays identical to a Grandis style deck, building a solid stack in your raise before promoting and swinging. Remember, with this type of deck, you have Memory Fixer Taikamiya who can give you a potential security attack +1 pending your stack has the correct number of Digivolution sources, which really isn't difficult to do. Starter deck Greymon provides another security attack +1. Metal Greymon X for that other check if you have X-antibody underneath, or you Digivolved from a Metal Greymon. And of course, BT1 Wargreymon, which means theoretically you're checking 4 checks and negating option cards. But with Wargreymon X, you can gain 1 memory for each check that is successful. But generally, Greymon support has some great protection in the form of Greymon X. Yes, both of them. That can prevent Digimon from being bounced or deleted by card effects. But if you don't have X-antibody or multiple Digivolution sources underneath, this is where some techs can come in handy. First up, Yuya Kuga, while a great tamer for Black Wargreymon X decks, can also be utilized in the Wargreymon X deck. However, note that you'll be sacrificing Taikamiya, who facilitates your extra security checks in place for DP buffs that last through your opponent's turn, and potentially option card negation that specifically targets a Digimon. The option card negation can be a pseudo-esque ADP, but if you're not feeling like using Yuya, there is another potential option. A Delicate Plan, also known as ADP, has seen less use considerably over the last couple of sets. But do not count this card out quite yet. While Black Wargreymon X will be a gatekeeper for janky decks, I do think Security Control will see some play, and a Delicate Plan will be necessary to counter those option cards. Granted, do be careful, because Security Control also tends to run Mimi Tachikawa, which means playing the Delicate Plan may pass back turn to your opponent. And like Metal Garurumon X, to counter your opponent's high DP thresholds or other matchups that may swing into your security, this is where you can run several cards to put the match in your favor. But unlike Metal Garurumon X, Wargreymon X just needs good old Blitz Omnimon. Because Greymon cards don't unsuspend, in order to finish the game, this is where the maximum DP threshold is only ever going to be 14,000 DP. It's not the safest, but there is typically going to be 1 copy of Omnimon X from BT10. Although in discussion with other players, BT5 Omnimon X has also been seeing some resurgence for that attack negation. In a Wargreymon X deck, I'm not going to lie, this card is also not a bad option to play if you're going for a slightly slower game. But for option cards, the consideration of Gaia Force Zero or Gaia Force has been notably on my radar. Although Gaia Force Zero has a potential 2 cost reduction, you're unable to delete Digimon with a DP greater than 13,000. So if it sits in your hand, it's not a great option, especially if other effects carry through your turn on the buff. Gaia Force is personally my choice, but for the 8 memory is a little cost heavy. My personal recommendation is maybe a 1 of at most of Gaia Force if you want a security bomb. Matchup wise, I would put Wargreymon X as a rogue pick for Nationals, mainly because Black Wargreymon X also incorporates de-Digivolve mechanics into the deck. Because of this, Wargreymon X will need to stay predominantly in the back before pushing up for a single attack. Depending on variants, if you run more EX1 Metal Greymons for the piercing element, this can help you break through whether they want to redirect or not. Even blocking will be damaging to their security. But in a situation where I'd be losing 4 or even 5 security in one swing at the expense of my black Wargreymon X stack, I'd probably sacrifice the stack because then no memory could be gained from Wargreymon X. Unless of course, that EX1 Metal Greymon is there. Grandis wise, Wargreymon X is on the losing end on this one, mainly because I feel Grandis has more memory efficient cards and can set up faster. Not to mention, if you don't run security bombs, Grandis checks basically go into your security for free. Melga X is another deck that I'd see Wargreymon X deck struggling against, because blue can be so memory efficient while also finding components. Security control would be your most hypothetical free matchup because you'd be able to rip 4 or 5 security with the elements of not even checking option cards, and then blitz Omnimon for game. In general, I would anticipate Wargreymon X also making an appearance at Nationals, because security control will never go away. But you know what deck will definitely be making waves? Crossheart. Catch me next week on an in-depth build, and as always, thank you for your support. This is Digi-Panda, logging out.